very busy and hectic Times Square. You look around, you'd think the economy was bustling by the activity here. Not so much. I'm joined by Nick Collis, Chief Market Strategist at Convergex. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nick, you've taken a look at some unusual indicators that make you a little nervous about Q1. What are you seeing off the beaten track that tells you the economy might not be that strong?
Well, let's start with inflation, very big topic for the Federal Reserve. And by the CPI's measure, it's basically flat. No price growth year over year. But if you look at things people buy all the time, for example, a bacon cheeseburger is our favorite proxy for food inflation, and that's up almost 8% year over year. So the CPI numbers really don't tell the whole story. Food inflation is actually sky high.
What else are you looking at that's of concern?
You know, another concern that we have is looking at food stamp participation. Not very often looked at on Wall Street, but really a critical number. There's over 46 million Americans still in the food stamp program. Not quite as high as it was just 2 years ago, at closer to 50 million, and off a few million, but still very high. 15% of the US population still in the food stamp program. That's a means-tested program. Things at the bottom end aren't doing well at all.
On the other end of the spectrum, we're also seeing less participation in the stock market too, right?
That's absolutely true, a very fascinating point. While the market's up so far for the year, you're seeing money flows out of ETFs dedicated to US stocks to the tune of $12 billion, and very modest flows in mutual funds, only about 6 or 7 billion year to date. It was 18 billion last year for the first quarter.
It wasn't all negative in the first quarter. What were some bright spots you saw?
You know, the auto sector is a real bright spot here. Inventories still at very nice levels, 70 days supply, seasonally a very good period, and big pickup truck sales that we look at as a proxy for small business, very strong, up 13% on average for the first 2 months of the year. Those are some positives.
And some confidence on the job front too.
Yeah, really fascinating thing that we look at, we call it the take the job and shove it indicator. That shows how many people quit as a percentage of total separations. They are 58% of people who left their jobs, left their job because they quit, presumably to go to a better job. And that's a very positive sign, one of the highest numbers in this whole recovery.
So let's add it all up. What's Q1 look to you?
You know, bottom line, Q1's pretty challenged. We're looking for 0 to 1% GDP growth. The stock market tells you that's probably the right number, and we'll have to hope for acceleration later on in the year.
Nick Collis, great to talk to you. Thanks so much. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for TheStreet.